How economic crisis emerges in human society and the solutions. 1. Foundation of economic crisis. The economic crisis takes place as a result of the long-term severe imbalance between supply of commodities and demand for commodities in a society. 2. Root of economic crisis. The root of an economic crisis is the market failure caused by the dislocation of national consumption capacity because of a wide gap between the rich and the poor, among whom the fruits of labor are distributed in a quite imbalanced way. 3. Conditions that lead to economic crisis. An economic crisis appears when the party with social capital, who has a strong desire to produce and pursues maximum profit, provides more material supply than necessary because they make a wrong judgment about the consumer power of the society. 4. Why economic crisis takes place. The economic crisis takes place because of the unscientific and unreasonable economic system, distribution system, and political system, as well as the severe imbalance of wealth distribution among members of a society. The majority of a society is in need of commodities and can't afford to buy, while the tiny minority can afford to buy commodities but is unwilling to do it. 5. Deep-seated problems in economic crisis. The deep-seated problems in an economic crisis lie in the temporary slow-moving consumption of commodities. Because of the severe imbalanced distribution of material wealth, the majority of a society only possesses the minority of wealth, and so they can't afford to satisfy their own consuming desires, even though they have much more consumption demands than a small number of people who possess the majority of social wealth and can afford to consume. With the supply and demand upside down, economic recession comes into being naturally and rapidly. 6. Process of economic crisis. The development of economic crisis is caused by erroneous judgment on social cognition because of backward means of receiving commodity information, distorted supply and demand information, market information, and sales information. Objectively, it reveals the opacity and inaccessibility of information, and subjectively, it shows that the leading party of social rights intends to make benefit for themselves through information blockage and blackmail that misleading the society. 7. Influence of information technology on economic crisis. Nowadays, the development of information technology and great changes are important means and technical support for humankind to improve the backward information technology in the objective world. Breaking the selfish institutional barrier in human society is a significant way to break the intentional information blockage in the subject world. 8. Solutions to economic crisis. Only when the problems in economic development are fundamentally solved can humankind achieve multi-win forever among producers, workers, consumers, and natural resources, as well as between short-term interests and long-term interests, instead of win-lose or win-win between producers and consumers, thus optimizing the allocation of natural resources and social resources. 9. How we can liberate humankind's thought. To achieve the great ambition and goal of human society, the biggest barrier lies in the limitations on humankind's ideology and cognition. As for how determined the human society is to break the traditional deadlock, it depends on how far human civilization can go. The brightness of windows of heart of humankind depends on if they can keep pursuing the light of wisdom positively and earnestly. 10. Magical effect of the truth theory. The truth theory is the cure-all medicine for economic problems in human society, like a magical key to man's world from the universe. Humankind will grasp everything in their life and production by grasping this one thing, which is like a player finally winning the game of Go by placing a playing piece tactically. The truth theory is the inevitable outcome of historical development of human society, representing the highly developed material civilization and cultural progress. As for whether human society can usher in the brand new era of great significance, it depends on how much humankind understands, believes, and accepts the truth theory. The shining path lies at everyone's feet. There will be far-ranging, enchanting sight if humankind steps forward, while the civilization will be used up, and humankind will cut their own throat if they march on the spot.